when I got to HHS, we had about maybe 3,300 small businesses in the industrial base. Today, I'm happy to say we got 10,000.
Wow.
And one of the goals for this year is to get 15,000.
Wow. Now, I'm a small business, and I believe I'm ready. What do I need to take to you? Where do I go? What should I have?
So one of the things that I've said, I think I said it last year, I talk about these 5 slides. In a matchmaking session, you have 15 minutes. You have 8 minutes to deliver a message and tell a story about your company. The biggest things about it is, who are you? Who have you done work for? What was the outcome of it? And what type of contract was it? Because people want to know that. Mm-hmm. What I tell everybody is, whatever keeps the lights on in your company, those are the things you do well. Mm-hmm. When people have 10, 15 different next codes, you've lost everybody because you don't have a focus. Mm-hmm. But if you have 4, those are things that you can focus on, because you can be good at 4 things.
Yes. But can you talk more about that? But first, tell people who you are so they know. Okay. Just in case someone happens to not know you. I mean, I know you're a senior level executive and all that, but just in case they don't know you, please introduce yourself.
Well, Eric, thank you for this opportunity. It's always a pleasure, man. And, I've been following you for a while, and this is our second opportunity to be here.
Yes.
I am the executive director at the Department of Health and Human Services. I've been there for about 3 years. I am responsible for growing a industrial base to support the health and human services community. It's been a ride. It's been interesting. I know one of the questions that came up during this year's conference about those goals.
Right.
What I'm most excited about and really happy about is because it really is not about the goals. It's about growing an industrial base that can meet the American mission, i.e. in the health and human services arena. As you probably know, we do have 13 different organizations ranging from CDC, NIH, FDA. Those are ones that people are familiar with, but there are some other ones that are out there that we have to have a robust, diverse industrial base to meet that mission for the American people.
No, I appreciate that. Now, didn't you set up a new organization recently?
So ARPA-H is one of the new organizations that is a part of the Department of Health and Human Services. Right. And they're really charged to try to look for technology and innovation to really advance the medical community. I think that they have a great mission for those small businesses that are out there that are in the innovation sector.
Right.
They just have to have an opportunity. And it's funny you talk about that, is in February we will be having our industry summit. Okay. And that will have 3 different verticals. Wow. Never been done before. Wow. Where we have innovation, training, and procurement. And each of them will have the optives that really are in those spaces.
Yes.
When you think about the innovation, that's where the ARPA-H comes in. That's where the NIH, SBIR, STTR, FDA with the SBIR program. Mm-hmm. So again, those are the innovation folks where we're going to be looking for those companies that are out there in the community, because I know they're out there. Right. They just need an opportunity and a stage to give them that opportunity to meet with the program offices and the contracting officials.
And I think this is a great conversation we're having, because what I want people to take from this, one is, and it was brought up today in the summit, was do not let the name of the agency fool you, right? So Health and Human Services, you would not think technology or innovation if you're just looking at, based on the name basis.
Yeah, you don't let the name, it's just a name.
Right.
They have so many organizations within inside them, 13. I just named a couple of them that people are very familiar with. And those have those innovation arms that are critical. Right. Because remember, think about anytime a pandemic comes around, you need folks that are on the innovation side, with the vaccines, with the cures. When you think about that, I think one of the things that I was really amazed about in the department when I got there was all of the small businesses that have made an impact on a lot of those critical. You think about the COVID. Mm-hmm. That was a small business that was one of the leading, building in some of those vaccines.
Yeah.
But you think about those are the companies that we're looking for. And those are the companies that are out there in that industry, but they need an opportunity to bring them forward. And that's been my charge, because it is so important to give them that opportunity, because I know just from past experience, being in the industry for a while, what small businesses bring is that innovation. They bring that agility. They bring that flexibility. They can maneuver to the problem, and they have some of the capability that can be game changing for the American people. So if I am not their champion, I am really trying to be that champion to make sure that they get that opportunity.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you and thank you for that. Now, before you were on this role, you said 3 years. What did you do prior to this?
Prior to this, man, I was the acting DOD director. I spent a year and a half as the acting DOD director, as well as the DOD Mentor-Protégé director. So I had a couple positions when I was in DOD, which was really great, because I had an opportunity to really see an industrial base grow. DOD is the largest procurement organization for small business. So I had an opportunity to really be in charge of that organization for almost a year and a half, and I learned a lot, and then being a part of the DOD Mentor-Protégé program. And that was huge, because what that program did for the department, and we see it starting to migrate across the federal government, is growing small business in critical areas that help address critical needs. Again, it was just, I had a great opportunity, being a retired military guy, and then having the opportunity to actually transition, and then getting the opportunity to be in the department as a government civilian. So it's been pretty cool.
Nice. And let me ask you a question, since you brought the DOD Mentor-Protégé program. Isn't that how they modeled the all small Mentor-Protégé program after the DOD one?
No,
or is that, it's not
different.
It's different.
Different.
Okay. How, and because again, people are thinking these, right? How is it different? What's different about the DOD?
I think what's different about the DOD, there's funding added to it.
Okay, that's
It's
important.
different.
Okay, that's important.
Well, funding's added to something, it makes it a little bit different.
That makes it a little bit different.
And I think the benefit of there's two benefits of both programs, don't get me wrong. When you look at the DOD's program, having that under my portfolio, we were there to grow an industrial base to potentially support a mission in the department.
Okay.
And the benefit was it was three benefits: the benefits to the department, benefits to the large prime, and then benefits to the small business. Because at the end of the day, we want that small businesses to potentially be a prime contractor. When you think about the All Small program, it's a great program, don't get me wrong, but a different mission, because now it pairs two companies together to go after opportunities, which is nothing wrong with that. But one of the things that, you have that difference of just going after opportunities. What we're trying to do is grow in that program, is grow that industrial base to potentially be partners. And what I thought was success was when you have small businesses becoming prime contractors and those larger firms being their subs. That's huge.
That's huge. Yeah.
That's a game changer when you have a small business now being a prime, and you have one of the big 6 or the big 10 large companies being their subs. That's a game changer, because then that tells the industry, or that tells the government that they're ready. If they're gonna be the large prime, gonna be the sub, they're ready to do business at a higher level. And don't get me wrong, even with the All Small program, they're growing. Everybody's growing. Because at the end of the day, you want those companies that are in that program to potentially be able to hold their own on larger contracts.
Right.
Because they got the institutional knowledge, they were able to grow from that program.
Right.
All of these programs are programs to help them grow to be better in the long run.
Right.
So I think both programs are great.
Let me ask this: how is it working differently as a small business from DoD to like an HHS?
Different mission.
Okay.
I think when I came to HHS, I had a mindset of, I'm doing this for the warfighter. When I came to HHS, it transitioned to the American people.
Oh.
So what that encompassed was the warfighter encompassed everybody in the United States and wherever we're doing business with. And I think that really trying to, my goal is to bring those type of companies that I was used to the department, because I know that they're ready to go. And then also help educate and grow that current industrial base. I think what I said today was, when I got to HHS, we had about maybe 3,300 small businesses in the industrial base. Today, I'm happy to say we got 10,000.
Wow.
Okay, and one of the goals for this year is to get 15,000.
Wow.
I want 5 more thousand in that database so we can pull from.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, the mission is not going to change. I don't care. We're still charged to help the American people.
Right.
And we still have to bring resources and companies that can do the work for the American people. Because nothing's changing. I mean, requirements are not going to change.
Right.
I don't care what you do. But you still have to have companies in your industrial base that the 13 different organizations can pull from, that are qualified to do the work. That's what I'm really striving to make sure that they're ready.
Now, I'm a small business, and I believe I'm ready. What do I need to take to you? Where do I go? What should I have?
So one of the things that I've said, I think I said it last year, I talk about these 5 slides. And when I talk about those 5 slides, that's your elevator pitch. You have, in a matchmaking session, you have 15 minutes. You have 8 minutes to deliver a message and tell a story about your company. When you really sum it up, the biggest things about it is, who are you? Who have you done work for? What was the outcome of it? And what type of contract was it? Because people want to know that. Because if you can tell who I've done work for, what was the outcome, what type of contract, then people are taking notice of, okay, wow. And then after that, tell them, hey, if I've done my homework, depending on the organization, and what I said last year was, you got to target one organization. Don't target the whole agency. People say, I want to do work with HHS. Okay, who? There's 13 people. There's 13 organizations, excuse me, that you could do work with. And what you have to do is identify where your services align with and who you can best support. And then that's the organization you target. And then those are the stories you have to tell about the impact that you've made with other organizations. Because when people are, what I've realized with those 5 slides, people are visual. If they see that you've done work with these different organizations, they see that you have a set message of the core competencies that what I tell everybody is, whatever keeps the lights on in your company, those are the things you do well. When people have 10, 15 different excodes, you've lost everybody because you don't have a focus. But if you have 4, those are things that you can focus on, because you can be good at 4 things.
Yes, absolutely.
And then when you talk about those 4 things, you talk about, what did you do? What did you deliver to the government? What did you deliver? What was the return? Did you create efficiencies? Did you reduce schedule? Did you increase, did you develop, implement, sustain a platform? How many people are using it? Quantifiable things. Because again, when you tell somebody that, it makes them stop. Because now they're like, it's not just I'm this type of company, this is what I do, never given any facts. And then one of the slides in there talks about whoever you're talking to, you've done your research on those requirements. Because then when you talk to them, that's the things you talk about.
Right.
Because you're making sure your message, because you got 15 minutes.
Right.
I talked about the company for the 8 minutes.
Right.
In 7 minutes, I'm going to talk about those 4 requirements. Don't talk about a whole bunch. Talk about 4 good requirements that you align with and the things that you're going to bring because you've learned some things from the previous ones that you've done before in those particular areas. That's the critical thing, and that's the message. Because then and then what I talk about in the last slide, just as I said before, it doesn't matter about the socioeconomic categories. It doesn't. It just matters that can you do the job that they're asking you to do to the best of your ability? Can you deliver what the government is asking you to do? The category doesn't mean anything because it's just your qualified company that can do the work. That's a benefit when you have all of them. But the first part of it is I'm here because I can do the work.
Yeah.
I've done it before. I've had success across the federal government. Now I'm coming to your organization and then trying to get after some stuff in your organization. That's a different conversation. And that's the same conversation you can also have with those large prime contractors. Because I tell some of the small businesses that use the 5 signs for the largest too. Because they want to know who you did work for. They want, what was the outcome? Who was you a sub to? Who did you prime? Was you a prime here? They want to know. Because then that changes the total conversation.
Yeah. Let me ask, can you give me an example, because you said, hey, we have 13 different organizations. Can you give me an example, I'm doing my market research, of what would be something unique about one versus another? Just give me out of two organizations, but like what separates, I don't know, one from another one?
I would really say when you're doing your market research and there are some common threads. You know, our top 3 next codes, pharmaceutical, IT, professional services. Okay. Now you have some other ones out there, you know, and to some of those other organizations. Once you do that, you want to identify how many requirements in one organization align with what you do. Because then you're starting to separate which ones that you're going to target.
Right.
Because then now you have a, you know, I think somebody talked about, I think the gentleman that was on the board, on the panel today, that target list. Target list is very important because you can't have too many targets. You need to have a set number of targets where you're targeting specific organizations because you, as a small business, can talk to the capability that you can provide to what they want or what they need because you see it.
Right.
Because they're not going to put something out that they haven't bought before.
That makes sense. Let me ask a different question, because people always ask me this. Say, Eric, what is an area where they need a lot of help at and that there's no people at, you know? That's the question. I'm telling you, when people ask me these kind of questions.
So when they ask that, you know what I tell them?
Tell them. That's what I want to
You didn't do your homework.
There you go.
Didn't do your homework. You're wasting everybody's time. I love you to death, but you're wasting people's time. Because it's, you know, I said it today, and, you know, I'm a little different from everybody. If you email me and you put a specific thing in a subject that I told you to put in a subject, and you get that 30 minutes, and you say, well, what do? You've already lost me because I'm asking you to do your homework. It's just like coming to these events. You had multiple organizations here. They should have targeted what they wanted to talk about when they got here. Because at the end of the day, you know, you only get one chance. And if you don't know what the organization does, where you're targeting and asking for the appropriate information, because, you know, even when you sit in some of the meetings and you're like, hey, well, we have vendor engagements each month. Which organization you want to be with? You know, which organizations have you identified? Because every federal agency has a forecast list out that we are chartered to make sure is updated. And if you're not doing your particular homework, your specific homework, it doesn't help you. Because I tell you, if being a small business was easy, everybody would be a small business. I tell everybody that all the time. But you have to do I call it the grind work, the stuff that people don't like to do. I want companies, and I tell them all the time, when you come to our vendor engagements, I'm bringing opportunities there. I hope that you're talking about those opportunities when you're getting that chance to sit down with them, because you want to challenge them. You're challenging them. Hey, I'm going after this. I'm going to bid on it. Because it's a waste of the small businesses' time if they come to an event and they are not talking about those opportunities that they believe those organizations have.
Right.
Especially when you're doing good quality matchmaking. I think one of the things that we have been really, I've been really focused on is making sure anytime we have events that we have organizations that have requirements that are relevant today.
That's helpful.
Not, next year. No, we talk about today and then next year. Because I want you to be able to come and say, okay, now I understand what they're asking for. I understand what they're looking for. Let me find a partner. Let me find a team, because I can't deliver everything, but I surely can meet 80% of it. I might need another company to team with to get that other 20%. But you're going to know those things.
Right.
That's why I'm really so happy about this industry day in February, because, as I said, we have the innovation track, but then we have the procurement track, which has two different verticals, IT and professional service. They are going to have requirements there that they're going to be talking about, that industry can ask those questions about. That's going to be huge, because now we're bringing it to you.
Right.
I'm bringing it forward to you. And if you don't show up, I'm doing everything possible to get you there.
Right.
But I just think that having those opportunities and putting in front of industry, all I said today was being ready, doing your homework, knowing when you come, have a targeted thing that you're going to be going after and talking to the individuals about. Whoever's on that list, you're going to identify those things you need to talk to them about.
So where do we go to register for the industry day?
We haven't launched it yet.
Okay.
We're in the final stages. We're just getting the final graphics.
Okay.
We'll be sending out the save the date before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Just to make sure folks are ready to go.
Okay.
But just what I will always tell people on our osdbu.hhs.gov, that's our site. That's that small business customer experience where we have every single thing that we're doing. We're pushing requirements. I'm really happy to say, if you give me a couple seconds, we actually just launched something called targeted marketing. And it is, what we did was, it was pretty cool, because sometimes the smaller opportunities you can't find. We're putting the simplified acquisition opportunities up there.
Hey.
So we already got, NIH has theirs up there now. We're working to start to build it out a little bit more. We're going to continue to build it out this year. But that's where you can get some of those smaller opportunities.
I like that.
Because I think what that does is, once you get one, then you get another.
Yes.
And then you start building.
Right.
Because in order to get to the $1 million contracts, you got to get some of those smaller ones and do them well.
Yes.
Because then people see the track record. Because then people see that you can deliver, maybe at a smaller scale, and then they start to challenge you as you grow and get better and better and better.
So you're telling me that I will be able to see a list.
You go to, it's called target marketing. Right now it has NIH up there. They have, you can click on it. It'll tell you the simplified acquisition that's out there.
That's huge.
It's gonna be a game changer.
Let me tell you
and as
something.
I build it, as we continue to build it out, I'll let you know. I'll keep you abreast.
Keep me abreast, because I definitely need to share this with my audience.
Okay.
Honestly, that's worth coming back to talk about, only because I don't even ask this question, because I know it existed before. Because people say, Eric, where do I find simplified acquisition opportunities? It's like, it's not listed anywhere. There's no website that lists it. So for you to come in and say that with me, you my man, 50 grand, man. You got the juice.
Hey,
You got the juice. You got the juice. I like that.
Because I think that, I really think, Eric, that you gotta start small.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Especially there were some companies in here that doesn't have any opportunities. Okay, because 250s mean that you're gonna do the work.
Yeah.
And if you're that good,
Yeah.
it's gonna be quality.
Love it.
And then people are gonna ask you to come back.
Right.
Do another one.
Right.
Do another one, and then they're gonna say, well, we got a bigger opportunity for you.
No, I love it. I love it. All right, that's
right.
it, man. You
All
did
right.
great, man. You still did.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Still did.
Hey,
You still did.
Did I get another interview? That's all I'm asking for.
You get another interview. You get to come back.
All right, there you go.
That right there, that's it.
There you go.
get to come
And
back.
we'll hopefully, Right now, we're working with ACF.
Yep.
We're trying to figure out some things to get their stuff up there.
Okay.
But the goal is to get everybody's stuff up there.
Yeah.
As many people, because, one of the things my colleague talked about was there's a lot of transitional work in HHS. Sometimes they ain't a big contract. Get the transitional stuff.
Yeah.
There's people out there that's doing those transitional type of contracts.
Right. Right.
Nothing's wrong with it.
Right. Right.
Because it still gets you to where you're trying to get
Just
to.
trying to get past performance.
There you go.